Hi, my name is Brantley Heath, and today we're going to be talking about playing zones and scrape zones on quads. Each of the four main drums have a spot that sound better when played in. This playing zone is about an inch from the rim and varies on each drum. If we play in this zone, we get the best possible sound. If we were to play in the middle of the drum head, we get more of a dampened or a dead sound. When it comes to drum 1, or the 10-inch drum, we want to play in the spot closest to us. The same applies to drum 2, or the 12-inch drum. When we move on to 3 and 4, or the 13-inch and 14-inch drums, it's really up to personal preference on where you want to play. Some people think that the spot closest to you is the best spot to play quads on. Personally, I like to play across from drums 1 and 2, right where the playing zone is. To show you what I mean, I want you to put your sticks right over the drums 1 and 2 playing zones, and now put your sticks together right above where those are at. Move your sticks over to drum 3, and then back over to drum 4, keeping the sticks in a straight line path. This invisible line we just created is the pathway we would like our beads to move when playing on quads. Now, starting in the drum 1 and 2 playing zone, let's move our beads right over to drum 3, and you'll see that naturally your left bead will start to come under your right when we get there. That is totally natural and gives us the most relaxed form when playing on drum 3. Another spot to look out for is the tension rod right here at the top. Most drums will have their tension rod about right here, and that's where I like to aim for keeping my beads. The same applies when we go over to drum 4, just mirrored. The right will go under the left, and we want to aim for that tension rod. Additionally, your quads will have either a 6-inch drum, an 8-inch drum, or both. The spot on these drums that I personally like to play in is about halfway between the middle of the drum head and the edge. This helps me from pulling my arms back too far when I'm playing on this drum. Go ahead and practice some alternating singles along the four main drums in these playing zones. Now that we've talked about our different playing zones, let's talk about a different type of zone, the scrape zone. In your school's music or exercise packet, you may find some drum combinations that require you to play multiple drums with the same hand. These are called scrapes and are the thing that really sets quads apart from other instruments. While a snare drummer can play a roll on their one drum head, we as quad drummers get to play that around the drums. The zones we want to aim for when we are playing these types of passages really only changes on drums 1 and 2. When we are playing a scrape or a double that goes from 1 to 2 or 2 to 1, we want to aim for the spot closest between the two drum heads. When it comes to drums 1 and 3, we really only change our one playing zone from here to closer to the drum 3 head. The same applies when we move over to drum 4 and we play a scrape from 2 to 4. The drum 2 zone changes from right here to closer to the drum head. Let's play an exercise that covers how to easily move to and from each scrape zone. In this exercise, we will be playing a duple roll with one hand playing a scrape at a time. Before we begin, there is one bit of verbiage that I want to talk about. When we're playing on one drum and we mainly stay on that drum, we will call that our home base, and we play scrapes that go to and from that drum. They will be called outs and ins. If drum 2 is acting as my home base and I want to play from 2 to 1, that would be considered an out scrape. The opposite, if I wanted to go in from drum 1 to 2, that would be an in scrape. The first thing we'll do in this exercise is play a duple roll for one measure on drum 2, followed by a measure of outs on drum 2. We will then play a set of ins 2 measures after that. After that, we move on to the left hand playing outs, and then playing ins, so on and so forth. Let's begin. When playing that exercise, it's important to keep a consistent hand speed and sound when playing the doubles measure on one drum. This helps us maintain a steady sound on the scrapes by keeping each individual note at the same volume. Be sure to practice this exercise slowly and really focused on where your stick is hitting for each note. Differentiate between the normal playing zone and the scrape zone. The next exercise we're going to play will work on crossing our hands over or under each other. These are called crossovers. There are 2 main ways that our hands should look when we're playing crossovers: stick over stick or wrist over wrist. Stick over stick is used when we're playing between 2 adjacent drums or drums 1 and 2 for an example. Wrist over wrist should be used when we're playing with a drum in between, like drums 1 and 3 or 2 and 4. Some quad drummers like me prefer to use wrist over wrist for most things, just for consistency. But again, this is all up to personal preference of your instructor. Something that everyone should watch out for, though, is we need to maintain the same grip as we are playing crossovers. As we cross a hand over or under, sometimes naturally our wrists will start to move and change. Typically, quad drummers will switch to French grip when they start playing around the drums. Again, we want to maintain a consistent hand and grip as we play, no matter where we are on the quads. It's very important that you maintain the consistent grip so that there are no variances in sound or setup. We will begin the exercise with 2 beats of doubles on drum 2, then our right hand crossing under our left, drum 4, our left hand playing 2 doubles, and then our right hand crossing back under to drum 2. Then we will play another 2 beats of doubles with our left hand crossing under our right to drum 1 and then back. You'll see plus signs above some of the notes in the exercise. What these crosses represent are the hands that are crossed over one another. This does not mean you need to do anything specific, it's just a visual reference to let you know how your hand should look at that moment. Again, be sure to keep an eye out for which zones we are playing in, playing zone or scrape zone. For anything going from one drum to another, we should aim for the scrape zone. last exercise we will be playing will incorporate everything we've worked on so far with one new addition. We will be playing sweeps that follow the leading hand. To show you an example, the first two measures has us playing 2 beats of doubles on drum 1, with our right hand then moving from 1 to 3, and our left hand following after. After that, our right moves over our left, plays a double from 1 to 2, with our left hand following and doing the same. Keep an eye out on the last 2 measures, where we have a decrescendo and crescendo, and a new sticking in the last measure. Let's begin. Again, take your time and start slow when playing any of these exercises. Playing really fast is cool and all, but playing really well and fast is even cooler. Thanks for drumming with me today, and be sure to check out all of the other videos being posted through IPA Clinic Week.